Emerald Hill Brewery is a microbrewery in South Melbourne which brews and bottles handcrafted beer using traditional brewing methods. Founded by Carl Jacobson with the assistance of friends, the brewery opened to the public in 2006. In its first year of operation, the brewery won 4 medals at the 2007 Australian International Beer Awards. Now, Carl's Brewery is open every Friday night where the locals can come back, enjoy Carl's great company and taste some fantastic beers. These are great beers. Tell us about them. Why are they the favourites of South Melbourne?
Well, all our beers are made in a traditional manner from good quality ingredients. We basically use no preservatives, no additives, and we make, at the moment we're doing 3 different beers. We've got a pale ale, which is an Australian pale ale with a bit of an English influence to it. We have a beer that's a wheat beer, which is based on German-style Hefeweizen. So it's a cloudy beer that's served with the yeast actually still in the bottle. And we do an oatmeal stout during winter, which is based on English-style oatmeal stouts.
Tell us about the history of the brewery. In its short, like 12, 24 months, you've won bronze awards at the last year's beer championships, I could almost say, the best beers in Australia. Okay, so tell us about the history.
Well, the history of the brewery is that about 3 years ago I was working in engineering and changing jobs and having a think about life, and basically decided that now was the time to start a brewery rather than later on. And so I went to a whole bunch of family and friends and people I'd worked with or people I'd worked for, and basically said, you know, I need to raise some capital, and I need some people who are going to help out in their chosen or their personal field of expertise. So basically we started up the brewery from scratch. It was an empty shell in here, and we proceeded to design the brand and build the brewery and get all the licenses and permits. And the beer awards that you mentioned, the Australian International Beer Awards, last year was our first time we were entered it, because it was the first time we actually had beer, which helps.
It helps.
And yeah, we got 2 bronze medals of that, so we're pretty happy with that as a first attempt, and hopefully we'll pick up a few more this year. We'll see how we go. But at the end of the day, the beers that we make, we're trying to make them for the Australian climate. So we're not trying to copy exactly what European beers or English beers or German beers particularly are like. We actually try and make something that's going to suit a hot day here, and still has the complex malts and hop flavours of traditionally made beer.
Interesting. I mean, a lot of people like to open restaurants because they like to go out to eat. A lot like open cafes because they like coffee, lattes and stuff. You obviously love beer, so you built a brewery. The attitude from when you first started to now, how's it changed? Have you sort of grown up, matured a bit, or was it just that it was cheaper than buying a couple of kegs each weekend?
Certainly not a cheaper way of making beer, but I guess 3 years ago we probably didn't really know what we were in for, and it's a matter of having a very big project with lots of things to do, and it was a matter of just getting all those things sorted out so that we could open up. Now, I guess we've been operating or been open for about 2 years to the general public. And now it's more about just building the business and trying to find ways of letting people know we exist without actually sort of spending any money on promotion and marketing, because it's a tough industry, and we don't have the huge dollars behind us that some of the bigger multinationals do. So basically we need the beer to speak for itself, and word of mouth is pretty much the only way we get our beers out on the market.
Is it possible to remain a small business operator in this industry?
At the moment we're definitely on the micro scale of things, but as you grow, assuming that you're keeping your processes the same and still sticking to that traditional method of making beer, I guess you become a craft brewery rather than a microbrewery. But at this stage we're definitely a microbrewery, and down the track we'll see what happens. I guess it's we're not at 100% capacity in the plant yet, so there's still room to expand, and we can always put some more tanks in if need be.
Great idea. If you want a hand sipping tasting, I'm always available, you know that.
Yeah, unfortunately that's only a small portion of the job, drinking beer and tasting it and making sure it's quality control's there. And we do have a lot of people who volunteer for that role, so yeah, I'll put you on the list.
Thank you very much. I'll be like number 300, I would imagine,
That's
something
right.
like that. So tell us about Friday nights. They're almost legendary.
Yeah, basically the Friday nights was something that was pretty important to us in setting up the business, and consequently we wanted to have the option to serve people beer in here. Mm-hmm. It's a bit of a different environment to have a beer in, as you can tell. So Fridays we basically open up the doors at 5 o'clock, and we have a bar obviously, which people can come and drink at, and if there's footy on, we'll project it up on the wall, and
fantastic.
It's basically just drinking the beer amongst the tanks, and I'm always here, so people can, if they want to know more about the beers or what we're trying to do, I'm always happy to have a chat to people. And I guess it's quite important to me, if you're selling beer in bottles, that's fantastic, but if you never actually get to talk to the people who are buying it, you don't know what their experience has been like and how they decided to grab it off the shelf. So for us, it's great instant feedback and a chance to actually talk to people.
I'm intrigued about the burger rankings throughout South Melbourne. You're a man, obviously you're as fit as a fiddle, washboard abs, work out every day, beers and stuff. Why the burger rankings in South Melbourne?
Basically because I'm here a lot of the time on my own. I tend to go out once a week with the other guys in the street, and inevitably on a Friday at lunchtime we'd start discussing what made a good burger, and after a while we decided to put it down and start actually ranking all the pubs around here.
Yep.
So it kind of found its way on the website.
And all the pubs are just research. I mean, the pub crawl really is just research, isn't it?
It's work, yeah.
It's just pure work. Okay, which has the best burger?
At the moment, the Maori Chief, and pretty much since day one, the Maori Chief Hotel, which is just around the corner. They've had a pretty good solid burger, and there's a few other contenders, but they haven't been beaten yet. So.
And this is the best beer, in your opinion?
Of course.
Of course. And they're all not far from each other, close to.
Well, that's handy. And
do they stock the beer there?
They do stock the beer there.
Fantastic.
Yeah. But that's not, we don't take that into account in the rankings, but they do stock our beer, and it's a good pub.
The future, where do you want to be, say, in 5 or 10 years' time? Besides Monaco on your yacht, but where do you want to be?
Obviously, the main thing is growing the business, and to do that, it's pretty simple for us. We need to make more beer, sell more beer, and get more beer out the door, and let people find out about us, and that's one of the key challenges.
You have a great brewery here. You love burgers. The beers are fantastic. Cheers. All the best, and may there be many, many more gallons of beer in our lifetime.
Thanks,
Cheers.
Mike.